to talk about Noragami today. I actually just recently finished watching this one, and yeah, so let's start. Basically, the setting of Noragami is in modern day Japan, where essentially gods and spirits exist on the same plane as us. They just can't be seen by normal people. There are also spirits that have not turned into bad spirits who can essentially be saved by gods and become like weapons, and they basically give them a home, somewhere to be, rather than basically waiting for a bad spirit to turn them bad. The main story is about a minor god named Yato. He calls himself a delivery god. He spray paints his name everywhere. Walls, bathroom stalls. Basically, you name it, he does it. It's weird though, because nobody can really see it except for people who are in need. Like if they're going through a hard time and they need help, the number will appear to them, and then they can call him. Now he does anything. He'll take any job, but like cleaning, babysitting. He'll try and help get rid of bullies. Because actually, according to this story, most of the time, a lot of the really heavy atmosphere and bullying is not ultimately caused by the spirits, but it is exacerbated by bad spirits. They like latch on to people, and they grow bigger with the more intense negative energy and feelings. Yato is actually out doing one of his odd jobs when he and Hiyori meet. It was really unusual from the beginning, because actually, he's usually not able to be seen. So it was weird for her to be able to see him in the first place, and she tried to save him from getting run over, but he would have been fine. But she doesn't know that, and she doesn't know that she's not supposed to be able to see him. So it's kind of interesting how they meet, and like saves him. For some reason, her soul slips out for the first time, and she is like half spirit, half corporeal, because she can, because she's still living. She's a living spirit, and it's kind of crazy. I'm not really, the weird part is, like, I'm just not really even sure why that happens, and I'm wondering if that will ever be explained further into the story, because as of yet, it actually hasn't been explained by the manga or the anime. Lastly, Yukine, which you won't know who he is right away, but he'll appear. He actually becomes Yato's Seki, or actually in the anime they're called regalia, and him and Yato, they have a really turbulent relationship at first. Like, you kind of love to hate Yukine at first. I really just wanted to smack some sense into him at first, because he's someone who died during puberty, and he's just angsty and angry. Anyway, eventually he becomes better, but it takes a lot of work first. So my favorite part about this story is the relationship between Yato and Hiyori. I really sympathize with Yato because of the situation. He's a minor god. He really just, he doesn't even have a shrine. He barely is remembered. He can actually make himself be noticed. The gods can actually make themselves be noticed as like normal humans, but it's hard for them to remember him. Like, they could literally have just said hi and they'll forget he's there. Like, not even see him. And it's kind of crazy. you find out later in the story, like, and another thing is that most gods who can't remember, like Yato, usually fade away, and they don't reincarnate or anything like that. So it kind of makes you wonder throughout the whole story, like, why the hell is Yato still around? He's existed for hundreds of years, and yet he still has no shrine. He's not a major god. Nobody knows who the hell he is, really, and he just barely keeps himself in people's memories. It's really that reason that I really like Yato. I sympathize with him, and I feel bad for him, and I'm also really interested in him, like how he grows and how he kind of begins to rely on Hiyori and how Hiyori relies on him, and I just think that's really interesting, and I'm really curious to see how their relationship works out, because, well, she's human, even though she's a living spirit and her soul can slip out, she's human, and he's a god. So, I mean, if for somehow, some way, she's the reason he starts to be remembered, well, I mean, just not really sure what's gonna happen, because lifespans and all that jazz. And there's also some other difficulties, like something called the God's Greatest Secret. They don't actually, yeah, no, they don't really talk about it in the anime. They mention it in the manga. I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about that, because I don't know if any of you are going to actually read the manga, and what I'm talking about won't really make sense if you don't know what it is. Basically, a God's Greatest Secret is the person's name. Their seki, their regalia, it's their name. The moment that they remember their name, they remember how they died. They remember their past, and apparently that just straight up breaks them. They immediately turn into an Akashi. I'm not sure if I said that right. They immediately become defiled. They immediately just go batshit crazy, and they can't be saved. Which I think is really sad and doesn't really make sense. Well, I guess I had to add some tragedy in there. Well, more tragedy than Yato's. The manga and the anime essentially keep to the same storyline. I mean, everything more or less happens, except for one major event that happens at the end of season 1 that doesn't happen in the manga. And so I'm kind of curious to know where that came from, or if it was just something special added on. I don't know. And also, generally, like, the events are just kind of out of place and out of order. The manga and the anime pretty much stick. I mean, generally the same things happen, they just don't happen in the same order. As far as I know, the manga is still ongoing. I would die if it wasn't, because it left off on a part that drives me crazy. Let's just say something happens between Hiyori, Yato, and Kofuku, and I need to know. This is one of the anime put out by Funimation. It's available for streaming on... As I was saying, it's available for streaming on Funimation, on Netflix, and on Hulu. To my knowledge, Hulu only has one season, and Hulu has both seasons. If you want to buy the novels, they are available on Amazon and on Funimation, and I believe the DVDs are available. Same one. I'm sure you could even get it on anime if you really want to. I would recommend buying it if you like it as much as I did. But if you are poor like me, you'll have to wait to buy it, so for now you can stream it and enjoy the love. So yeah. That's about all I have to say for today. I've got some other coming out I'm working on. Got quite a few actually. I'm also thinking about doing some Urban Dictionary isms that I have found out. Getting back into the anime scene, I'm realizing that there's a lot of stuff that I just don't know, and I think it's funny. So I'm thinking about making some videos about it. Yeah, so that should be fun. And yeah, again, if you have any comments, suggestions, recommendations, questions, I welcome all of those. Put them below. Or find me on social networking. I have all my usernames at the end usually. Oh, and any links of interest will be in the description below, and that is where I'll also put that there are possible spoiler alerts. Again, I'm working on structure and stuff, so if you don't like it like this and you'd prefer to see more clips of anime, I would be willing to put those in there. But for the meantime, I'm gonna kind of stay with this until I know more. Someone is nice enough to, tell me